Yo, what's up guys, it's Jack and welcome back, and the gameplay is a little bit more Halo 5, and you are going to see some sniper action in the first part of this gameplay, so I hope you guys enjoy that. And as you guys know, I don't snipe. I've been asked in the comment section in Call of Duty if I could just get the sniper on and get a sniper gameplay, but I don't snipe, I don't enjoy it, and on top of that I'm not good at it either. So that's 3 reasons right there that I won't do something like that. But in Halo it's a little bit different, and in this gameplay I do a pretty decent job going on a nice little tear with it. It's not the biggest tear in the world, but I think it's pretty decent. But I hope you guys enjoy that. Now, on to today's topic of discussion. Now, I know that this was announced, like what, almost a month and a half ago now or something like that, that the original Xbox games are going to be coming backwards compatibility for the Xbox One. And I barely touched up on it on another video, I believe. Maybe, if that. So I thought I'd make another video talking about it in general, in full, because it was right after I graduated high school back in 2003 is when I purchased my first Xbox, the original Xbox. And I was still playing on a GameCube back then, actually. The Nintendo GameCube was my main console. Basically my friend ended up getting an Xbox, went over to his house and played a game called Halo, the original Halo, and right after that I was like, oh, I gotta save up money and get this. And about 2 or 3 weeks later I had saved up enough money during the summer and basically bought myself an Xbox, and the rest is history. I've been a fan of Xbox ever since. And if there's anything, I mean, I really don't have the necessity. It's not a necessity for me to get a PS4, except for maybe a couple of their exclusives or whatnot, like God of War, for instance, or maybe Crash Remastered, to name a few. But I don't spend as much time playing single-player games anymore. I play mostly multiplayer games, and plus I got the Elite controller on the Xbox. So, and on top of that, they got Game Pass and backwards compatibility, which is a big thing for somebody like me who's been around games for a while. That's very appealing to me, and that's more than enough to keep me going. So, but if there's anything, if Sony could do anything to literally just make me go to the store right after work any day that I want to pick up their console, if they announce some sort of backwards compatibility for, I'm not talking necessarily something like Game Pass, but if they announce backwards compatibility for their original PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2 and yes, PlayStation 3 games as well, oh man, I would probably go and get it the next day, because I love the God of War games, but yet I haven't played every single one of them. I played 1, 2, and 3, but I haven't played Ascension, and I haven't played the ones that were on their portables that were also made a port to be downloadable and playable on PlayStation 3. So there's that, and then there's the new one that's coming out. There's the Crash games, and I spent good time playing those. Siphon Filter. I mean, I could go on. I could just go on and on and on. I'm a fan of all games in general, even though I play mostly multiplayer games now on my Xbox One, but I'm still a fan of Sony, and if there's anything that Sony could do, if they were to do that, I would probably go ahead and pick up a Sony PS4 tomorrow, if that was announced. And I'm almost tempted actually to look at the news now and to see if there's anything like that's been announced, so that way in this video I don't get caught off guard and somebody in the comment section will say, hey dude, it's already been announced, what are you, stupid? But anyway, I think Microsoft has come a long way, and I'm not being biased. I think they've come a long way since the beginning, because I was, even when they first announced the console, I was cringing because of all the NFL stuff, and the price was way up there, and you had to get a Kinect that came with it when the original one was announced, and how you had to have an internet connection and all these other things. These guys have done a really solid 180 since the console has been released, definitely, or actually since it's been announced. So, and I think they're definitely starting to catch up a little bit. Sony's obviously still has a commanding lead, but they were a hell of a lot more behind. As time goes on, they used to be behind way back like a year ago and the year before that. So they're definitely catching on, and I think a big reason is because of this backwards compatibility. Now, obviously, people that are a little bit, let's say, the younger generation of gamers, it may not mean that much to them, but if you're anywhere around my age, I'd say anywhere from the mid-20s to mid-30s, I think you can respectfully understand the importance of backwards compatibility. And we're not just talking about the fact that, well, we just want to keep playing our old games on a new console or whatnot, but it's also the fact that, well, when you're switching controllers, I personally believe that when you switch controllers, not just from an experience point of view, but no matter what kind of game you play, especially if it's a game like multiplayer, it could be a little bit of a pain in the butt for somebody to switch controllers from one to another, or just to keep on switching consoles or whatnot. But for many different reasons, you know, some companies may not choose to do it over others. So, I mean, obviously, like, games like that are going to be remastered, you know, because if they were to release backwards compatibility for all the most popular games, the ones that they're going to remaster are all of a sudden going to be less popular because, well, the only difference is going to be graphics and a couple of gameplay changes here and there, because when you change graphics, the gameplay changes just a little bit. Like I heard about Crash Remastered, like the remastered game is much harder. But also at the same time, the original experience really can't be duplicated. And I personally think that that's why backwards compatibility is such an important thing, because, I mean, obviously the original experiences are extremely special. Kind of like how the original Star Wars movies were special. Before they got altered and they had special editions for those movies, and the difference from the VHS to the Blu-rays and all that kind of stuff. So if you're a fan of that as well, you'll kind of know where I'm coming from. So but all in all, I think it's really exciting. One game that I'm personally looking forward to coming back to backwards compatibility for the original Xbox is Ninja Gaiden. I spent a ton of time trying to beat that game. When I finally did, I went for the harder difficulty, and then the harder difficulty after that. I never got through Master Ninja because that is just ridiculously hard, but I was able to beat the game on all the other difficulties. So, and there is a soft spot in my heart for single-player games till this day, believe it or not. Like, for instance, even though I'm going to be playing a lot of multiplayer in Battlefront 2 when that comes out, the thing that makes me interested about Battlefront 2 is the fact that you get to play single player and multiplayer in basically story mode and multiplayer for all the different and you get to experience all the different sagas in Star Wars. I mean, I grew up on the original trilogy, episodes 4, 5, and 6, A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. But when I was in my mid to late teens, I also grew up with the episodes 1, 2, and 3, The Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and Revenge of the Sith. And now, being in my early 30s, I really like what they're doing with the new movie, and I can't wait for Last Jedi. The Last Jedi is actually my most anticipated movie. Yes, it's more. I have it more anticipated than Deadpool 2, more anticipated than Infinity War, more anticipated than Justice League by far. And the thing is, one of the reasons is because, well, I really want to see what happened to the characters, or you know, that I grew up watching when I was just a little kid, and then later on as I grew up to be an adult and my teens and everything in between. Star Wars is a really big part of my life, and just like the old games were a really big part of my life, I think it's really cool that we get a chance to experience them on our new console at this day and age. I think that's cool. And even if things get added to them to make them like really cool, like for instance, like the original Nintendo Mega Man games that are found in Xbox Arcade, those games are hard as hell to beat, especially for someone like me, okay? But they have leaderboards to them, online leaderboards, and man, the guys that are like at the top of those leaderboards are absolute monsters. It's like, I swear, it's like a machine is playing that game. I mean, those guys are just absolute beasts, and I give credit where credit is due, because those games are hard as hell. But it's things like that. I think things like that are something that should never really be forgotten and should always be respected and remembered, and always been paid attention to and never neglected. I hope that when the new consoles come out, like the next generation, you know, like the PS5 or the next Xbox or whatever the deal is going to be after that, or whatever they're going to be called, I just hope that backwards compatibility is something that they really take into account, because it's been something that has been talked about for years. And I was actually kind of surprised that Sony didn't take advantage of it, because from the beginning, they really did a really good job of just listening to fans from the price range and in terms of what they want, and being focused on games and all that. And I personally think that's the only thing they're missing from perfection, in my humble opinion. So who knows? Maybe in the future we might get it, or you know, who knows? I mean, you never know what's going to happen. So, but for me personally, backwards compatibility, the original Xbox games, backwards compatibility is something that's extremely exciting, obviously. And I have one question as this video is coming down to an end here, and that is, what do you guys, for those of you guys that have an Xbox and that are excited about the original Xbox games coming to backwards compatibility, other than Crimson Skies, what game are you most excited for? Is there any specific game that you really, really want to play and that are extremely excited for? Because when the original Xbox came out, it was a really big deal. I remember seeing it before I ended up getting it. I remember seeing it on the commercials, and I was like, "Damn, I wish I had this system." But lucky for me, I was occupied with what I had. I was occupied enough, and I didn't go crazy over it. But once after I graduated and went over to my friend's house and we played Halo 1, that was the end of that, and it's been a ride of ups and downs ever since. So anyway, let me know down in the comments section, guys. What game are you most excited about, or do you not care? Or for those of you guys that have a Sony PlayStation 4 only, is this something that you really want? And let me know, what games do you want to be backwards compatible, or what games that you played through PlayStation 1, 2, or 3, or all, that you would like to be playable on your PlayStation 4. And that's it. That's all I got for this one, guys. Let me know down in the comment section what you guys think, and if you liked the video, let me know, and if you didn't, let me know what I could do to make my videos better, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.